Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. And yeah, so sorry about the delays, but I was just getting ready so you guys will be set up for the best. So we will be talking about uh, types of content today. Um, just 1 second. Uploading the files now. Again, so that we could have a seamless session today. Okay, so in the meantime, while that's happening, hopefully the slides come up soon. So we'll be talking about types of contents, but we've delved into types of content which are like the part one, which forms the basis of the conversation for the types of content. And so now we'll be talking about separate or different types of contents. Again, just to build on the lessons that we've learned before now. So let's get to it. Still trying to add a few, just running through. Okay, so the slides are almost up. So please just bear with me a little while. It's just taking a while here from my end. And yeah, there we go. So we'll be delving into types of contents, and we'll be looking at two basics types of contents for this particular topic that we're treating today. Um, and the type of contents we'll be looking at include white papers, ebooks, case studies, and social media content, right? Um, the purpose of this conversation is to share insights on their purpose, how to create such, what these types of contents are, um, as well as how to go about using these types of contents, right? So, first we'll talk about white paper and ebooks, right? First, what are white papers? Again, a white paper is not a white paper, but it's called a white paper because it serves as an in depth report that explores a specific issue around tech, maybe finance, or solution in detail. Right? They are typically aimed at professionals. Like the audiences for white papers are more academic. Sometimes you have core professionals or industries that really have to do a lot with details and breakdown of statistics and all of that. All right, and so they provide a deep dive into a topic, offering analysis, research findings, as well as recommendations. Right. The target audience for a white paper typically get towards business executive, industry professionals, and decision makers who seek to understand complex issues and solutions. So these are some of the people that white papers usually target, right? In the case of ebooks are digital books. I'm sure we've all come across one ebook or the other from some of our well-known books or to recently created books about maybe contemporary topics or sometimes you know engagement, even some of our fictional novels and all. Some of them also have their ebook versions, right? So they're just basically digital books that cover a wide range of topic. Almost everybody who has a physical product as a book is also trying to get an ebook again, so that they can, diversify their audience in terms of people who actually want to read. Most people have the time to pick up a physical book, so it's easy, or would be easier to get to them via ebooks, right? Ebooks can vary in length and complexity. Unlike white papers, right, they can be more versatile, ranging from educational contents to promotional materials. The target audience for ebooks depend on the type of content. Again, ebooks can target a broad audience from casual readers to professionals looking for detailed guidelines. So um, let's quickly run through a few more of the things that are on this slide, right? So ebooks and white papers are often gated. That being said, and what that means is that before you can access these forms of content, readers or prospective readers would be required to give emails, names, and all of that. Again, because these forms of content usually have a target in mind, right? So if I say, for example, generate a white paper, I want to know at least how many people have read it, how many people have downloaded it, and then so that I can build a database of readers from that. Because again, everything around these two particular kind of content works around statistics and figures and data, right? Second thing is thought leadership. By publishing well researched and insightful white papers and ebooks, the company can position itself as an expert or leader in its field. Of course, we see this happen in so many instances. A few months ago, MoneyPoint published a white paper with in collaboration with Smedan on the informal economy in Nigeria, and they also did like a book, like a launch around it, and it gained a lot of publicity and traction. The likes of companies like Endeavor Nigeria have also done similar things, publishing similar white papers and all of that. So these are just some of the examples, and they basically help you to position yourself, right? After years and years of research, and you've come up with these findings, they help you position yourself as a thought leader in the industry. Okay? Yeah. So, structure and elements of white papers. So, basically, these elements have sections such as executive summary, problem statements, solution overview, exporting evidence and data, conclusion, and then next steps, right? Again, just for let me make this a little bit more interesting. Let me see. Let me add a particular white paper that I can just go through. So again, we see in practical terms some of the things that we're talking about right now, because I think it's actually quite imperative that we share this again so that we can grasp the entirety of what we're trying to say. Okay. All right. Okay. In just trying to get the white paper out. Hopefully it's this one. Just quickly. Okay. Okay, I'll share that. I'll share that later on, but so just quickly run through this. So The executive summary is basically for those of us who have written projects, just a simple brief about what your white paper is going to talk about. The best practice for writing an executive summary is that it should be concise, clear, compelling, and summarizing the problem, solution, and also the key takeaways. Now, problem statement, just as the name implies, it clearly identifies and defines actually the issue or challenge that the white paper is addressing. Best practice to do this is to use data, real world examples to illustrate the significance of the problem, as well as some statistical evidence. Right, solution overview. This part of the white paper presents the proposed solution or approach to the problem. Again, supporting evidence and data to lend credibility to the white paper. Evidence and data helps to include research, findings, case studies, experts' opinions, and the likes that help support the proposed solution, right? And of course, conclusion and next steps. So you conclude the white paper or the ebook, and then you then wrap it up by saying, hey, these are the things that we need to do. These are the things that we need to take cognizance of if we intend to, maybe change the landscape and then begin to implement the solutions, right? So, creating engaging ebooks, that's quite the basics of actually creating any book in the first instance, right? You want readers to enjoy it, you want readers to pick it up and say, oh, I picked it up and I couldn't put it down. I just had to finish it, right? So, one, planning and outlining before writing an ebook. It's essential to define its purpose, target audience, and then the main themes. This stage involves brainstorming ideas, research topics, and creating a detailed outline that will guide the writing process in general. Again, because ebooks are a little bit more informal in their own sense, right? It can come from a variety of topics, so you need to actually get that writing style that is actually interesting enough for readers to follow through. Design considerations, the visual design of an ebook is just as important as its content. People always say you can't judge a book by its cover, but literally, I think quite literally, you can. If the cover is actually quite attractive, well, you can almost assume that the content would equally be as attractive, but not in all cases, I must say. So, again, the third step here is incorporating visuals and interactive elements, right? So, you use visuals and interactive elements that can make an ebook more engaging and easier to digest. They help break up the text and illustrate more complex ideas. You see people put pictures, pictograms, charts, and all of that in their ebook. So again, it's not a bad one if you actually go ahead and create something of this nature. Distribution strategies after creating an ebook. The next step is to distribute it effectively. This involves promoting it through various channels to reach your target audience, of course. Case studies, right? So case studies are actually quite dynamic, right? Simple, but also effective and complex if you really think of it. Case studies are detailed accounts of how a product or service has solved a particular problem for a client. So most times you see case studies being put together from a marketing team, from like a product team, right? From a business end, because again, they are the ones who have addressed the problem, so they know who they've addressed this problem, and then they put it together, right? More like testimonials that come from people who have used the product and say, "Hey, this is great." Case studies are you want to really identify with your target audience, and so you want to create a really good narrative and then show people, right, real world practical experiences and examples of how your product or your service can actually solve their problems, right? So the importance in B2B marketing. B2B marketing, of course, case studies are very crucial because they build credibility. Potential clients are more likely to trust your solution if they can see how it has worked for others in a very similar situation. Case in point again, I still use the MoneyPoint example because I've seen them do a lot of case studies around clients that they've served and people that have really been underserved before, and so they've been able to reach them, and then they've created these case studies around these clients, right? So, if elements of case studies again, client background, what did the clients do? What are they into? What the industry? What challenge do they face? What problem do they face? Right? Before you then come to the solution implementation, how your product or service was implemented to solve the client's problems, then the results, and then the benefits of actually using your product to solve that problem. And then you come to, again, the client's testimonial, where the client is then saying, hey, uh, if you want this problem solved, right, use XYZ solution. Case study writing workshop. So practice writing a case study based on a scenario, any scenario. I might add, the goal is to help you learn how to structure a case study and effectively communicate the value of a solution. Right? Best practice is to focus on clear, concise aim to tell a compelling story that highlights the problem, solution, as well as the results in a logical sequence. Right? Social media content, right? Again, these are contents that we create for several social media platforms, right? We have Facebook, which is best for building communities and sharing a mix of content from articles, videos to images. Twitter, ideal for shorts, timely updates. Of course, again, conversation. Conversation is Twitter is where it happens. Instagram focuses on visual content. These are the people that deal in, lifestyle products, travel, all of the aesthetics. You sell clothing, you sell food. Again, Instagram is the place for you to be. LinkedIn, primarily used for professional networking and B2B marketing, suitable for sharing industry insights and professional achievements and whatnot, right? With that, that's basically like the end. So we've been able to, again, share insights on and ideas around content such as case studies, again, social media content, and then we talked about white papers, and then we also talked about ebooks, right? So the assignment for this particular course is to create a content package for a fictional product launch that includes one blog post. Again, we talked about blog posts in our previous class. So your blog post should have 500 to 700 words outline for a white paper or ebook, which is the second task. Should be about 2 to 3 pages. So you're not limited by words, but by the number of pages, right? And the third one is one case study outline. Again, just think of something, a scenario that you can create a case study around, and then go ahead and do that. And a week's worth of social media content. So that's about 14 posts across 2 platforms. So 7 posts for the first week, and then okay, we're 14. Okay, across several media platforms. So we're 7. Yeah, we can create like 7 each for each of the platforms, depending on how you want to do it. Again, you might want to create more content for a specific platform because you know that your target audience easily relate with that particular platform. So, but just in all, create about 14 posts, and let's see how that happens. So, I hope you've been able to learn. I hope to again go through your assignments and then see how creative and how well you can actually pull this off. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much for staying tuned, and thank you very much. Hope it has been worth it, and hope to see you again.